What's up? So, a lot of things been going on in my mind the past few days. The first thing is RIP to X. Um, Obviously, I'm talking about XXX Tentacion, who was shot a few days ago, and it's really been bothering me because there's no way that you can know when your life is going to end. And it's really kind of frightening, I guess. And as frightening as it is, it serves as like a wake up call to appreciate the things that you do have and the people that you have in your life and the time that you get to live and the things that you get to experience. But I think the weirdest thing is that I don't I didn't know X. I never met him. I didn't even listen to much of his music, but his passing is really affecting me and my thoughts, and I've kind of been obsessing over it the past few days. And I think it's just because I don't like understand, you know, like if your thoughts really do create your reality, then what could he possibly have been thinking about that would have attracted his killer to him at the same point in time on that day so that his shooting would have happened? Like, that's just weird. And then, even more than that, is that, um, so then I got on YouTube and there's all of these like tribute videos about X and other artists that are performing, or playing his songs at shows and, and things like that. And then I stumble upon these videos where people are using these like spirit boxes or just like radios, and they're tuning into like certain frequencies, and they're apparently talking to X's spirit from the other side, but on this side. And all you really get in the videos is just like, trace sentences of, I'm sorry, it's my fault, I brought this to myself, you know, I can't come home, you know. It's just sad. Like, it's really, it's sad and it's creepy, and death is just strange because life is the only thing that we know, you know? It's the only thing from the point of you being born and existing and living your life with the people that you lived your life with. It's the only thing that you know? So to imagine being dead is just like, what the fuck? Like, what would that even mean? Where would I even be? What would my spirit be doing? Like, I don't know. And then it just begs the question, like, what the hell am I doing? Because, okay, well, I can get on that in a second. But, um, more about X. Um, I think that he was just awake in a different way. Watching his interviews, a lot of what he talked about, he was just different. You know what I'm saying? Like he was really tapped in onto his message about empowerment and achieving your dreams and doing whatever it is that your heart desires for you to do, and not conforming to other people's idea of you or what you should be doing with your life, and just saying fuck all that shit. Do whatever it is that you want to do in your life, like no matter what it takes or who you have to go through or anything like that. Like, not being afraid of nobody, not being afraid of failing or succeeding or anything like that. Like, just doing. And I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, I don't like, what the fuck, you know. I went to school, I went to college, I got a dope degree in information systems. I worked for a stellar, like, top tier company for 2 years straight, and then my contract ended and I got let go, and I didn't have any idea, like no plan whatsoever. And it feels like my wheels have been spinning for like the past year, you know. Like, to recap, I've moved back home. I'm I occasionally write music. I post videos on YouTube and I record myself just doing silly stuff. And part of that is fun. I mean, that is fun. I shouldn't say that part of it isn't fun, because that is fun. That's enjoyable to do. Um, and I'm bored. Like, that is what I want my life to be better. But I am bored, and that feels horrible. Like, the truth of it is that I imagined at this point in my life that things would be different, that I would have traveled, and I haven't. Well, not in the way that I would like. I haven't gone as many places as I wish I have gone, you know? And, like, it's just interesting. Like, when I was working for Dell EMC, I was cool. I had a certain amount of money, you know. I was making 1,600, 1,700 bucks every 2 weeks, and it was cool, you know. And being let go was like a nightmare. It came at the worst time. It was right after my grandmother passed away. Like, well, not right after. It was really like 6 or 7 months after she passed. But I don't know. It was the end of February. But she passed at the beginning, at the end of May. Memorial Day, at the end of May. Anyway, I don't think that's either here or there. Like, it did affect me, and it affected my work and everything like that. And it was a nightmare because at the time, that was my only way of making money. And after that, I just started working odd jobs, doing whatever I could, working up at the Sheraton Hotel in Columbia with my father, doing audio visual, and that's all I did. And I drove for Lyft and I drove for Uber, and I literally, and I did that, and I took money out of my like 401k, and like that's what I did to survive for like 6 months after that, and like I made it. Like like that part of my life is just crazy. Now I'm back home, and it's kind of like depressing because it's like, well, fuck, now what? You know, like I didn't have any plans. My dream since I was 17 was to be a pro skater. Like that's been my dream. And all throughout college, all throughout working my first like real job, like that was my dream. And that's what I did. Like in between classes, in between being at work, having a girlfriend, chilling with my friends, like I skated. That's what I did. And I'm not at the level that I wish that I was at. And that is the reality. And I don't know how to deal with that. Like how do I make myself better other than to keep going? And then I got an injury where I it hurts to skate. Like I injured my back, and I think it's because I was skating, but like to skate you have to be in shape. Like that shit is hard. It is fun, but it is freaking hard. And like I was just getting to the point where I'm like skating stair sets, which is awesome. It is just an amazing feeling, like jumping like a 4 stair or a 5 stair, which is impressive for me at a point. But when I've seen videos of other skaters do like 10 stairs or like 11 stairs, I knew that was only one more, but like or like a 15 stair set or a 20 stair set, it's like what the fuck, like it's it's mind blowing. It's honestly mind blowing. And I guess that reveals that there's a lot of doubts that I have. Like, that's ugly, but I still want it. I don't know how old I will be when I reach that goal, but I want it, you know? I guess it's just interesting, like, having these lofty dreams or ideals about how your life is going to be and know and not have any idea how you're going to get there, but just doing what you can to like get there. Like the reason that I started writing songs was because of how much music I listened to and consume, and it only felt appropriate that if I was going to listen to that much music and it be that big of a part of my life, that it only makes sense to create and give that music back. And I don't even feel like I'm doing that fast enough, you know, like or well enough. Like it's a crazy like up and down. Like I wrote a song the other day called "Cutting Cards," and it's good. I haven't wrote any music to it. It's just me singing the lyrics that I wrote, and I really like it. I've shared it with a few of my. I put it on my YouTube channel. I've shared it with some friends, and they really like it, and I'm proud of that. And it feels like I have to do something like that every day to feel like I'm succeeding, you know? And if I'm not doing that, it's like, oh, well, I guess it's just like an off day. Like, or maybe it's just that I have to find a way to appreciate what I'm doing more and just settle into me being me. Like, I went to the gym earlier today and I had an amazing workout and it was awesome. And I've been like napping and like sore all day after that, like simply because I want to be in the best shape of my life. And like that's an amazing thing to do, but like it's like the road getting there. It's just long. And now I'm like ranting. I feel like I'm complaining and it's the worst because I hate like complaining, but it's like human. Like I'm just a person, bruh. Like part of me wants to ascend to this like untouchable, unreachable, like God like level of existence. But the truth of the matter is that I'm just a human, like doing the best that I can to live my life. Oh, which brings me to another thing, because I think about everything. Like, so there is that point of me just doing the best that I can to live my life, right? But your life, you're like, at least in the Christian community or like in basically any religious community, I think you're taught that your life is planned out for you and that you just have to walk the path. So it's like one side of the coin says that your thoughts like manifest your reality, but the other side of the coin says that your life is already planned out for you and you just have to trust and walk the path, and everything's already going to be what it's going to be. Like, bruh, it's just crazy. And then I guess the other point is, or the other thing that I've really been thinking about is that I'm in between jobs right now and I have like all these lists of places that I want to apply to, and the truth is that it feels fake. Like, I know that it's something that I have to do because I have to provide, but honestly, outside of skating and writing music and like writing stories and just like creating and being creative, like it just doesn't feel right. like for me filling out an application to work somewhere to do some job, like maybe I'm just in a pessimistic place, but it feels really dumb. Like, and I've been struggling with doing it because it feels pointless. It's like why would I do that? You know, like the other day I woke up. So I was thinking about X and about how he died and how horrible it was that somebody that was a troubled individual but that made, this good music, influenced so many people, had so many fans, and was killed at an untimely time. And I just, was like looking around in my house and like outside, and I was just filled with this feeling of gratefulness and oh my goodness, I was so happy because I live with both of my parents. Like, I live with my brother. I have a loving sister. Like, my family is like loving and very supportive, and I was just going over the top. I was like, dishes are wonderful and the grass is amazing, and look at the trees and look at the clouds. Look how beautiful the world is that we live in. Look at, like my car. Thank God that I'm able to drive and I can go places, and we got fast food and we got non-fast food. We got food that you gotta cook here. We got freaking like Panera. We got like you can barbecue. Like, there's all of this shit that you can do when you're alive. You can go skydiving, you can go rock climbing, you can go scuba diving, you can swim with the dolphins, you can get attacked by a shark, you can put yourself in a cage and let sharks swim around you in the goddamn cage. You can freaking like there's just so much shit that you can do, bruh. And he's not gonna be able to do it. And it was just really fucking with me. I felt really, really like just sad, I guess. Which just, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm trying to figure out how I work. Like, how is it that I can have all of this great stuff around me and not feel like I'm like satisfied or not doing enough or like, so that's just what it is, you know. Like, and I feel like I'm stressing myself out because I'm trying to make myself proud and I'm trying to make everybody else proud, and I just want things to be easier. Like, things aren't super difficult, at least it doesn't seem like it for my family right now. But I want to be able to create the kind of life where my family can do amazing stuff like go on yacht trips and like ride on helicopters and swim with dolphins and and go fishing with like Most Def or like Dave Chappelle. Like, I don't know, but like that's the stuff that I think about. I don't think about you know going grocery shopping, which is great, but I just like my brain is like, I know that there's something that I can do to like make life this grand journey that I dreamt about growing up, like as a kid, or like even now. I'm just like daydreaming, and I'm like, bruh, like, how does this shit all work, son? Like, how? It's amazing that it does because there's like so many people, so it makes sense that it works, like, because there's doctors, like that's how people get well. If you're sick, you go to the pharmacy. How? Because the pharmacy person like studied to become a pharmacist, and that's how like you have a pharmacist. Like, how do you go online and like jack off? Because there's people that like are porn stars and they make porn so that you can like go to the porn site and jack off to the porn. Like, bruh, it's it's like a whole mind fuck, man. So that's what's been on my mind the past few days, and I guess it's like I don't want to try too hard to be unique, but I just don't want to be normal, you know, like, no shade to anybody else, but like working in a library or like at a grocery store or anything like that, it's like not appealing. Like, that's just how I feel. Unless I'm like a rock star or like a pro skater or like an astronaut or like something like death defying and crazy like that, I don't think that I'm gonna be satisfied in my life. That's honestly 1,000% how I feel. Like, that's just how I feel. Cause like I'm 27, and if I think back thus far, which by the way is very young. Like, I feel kind of old because like I have body pain, but 27 is super freaking young. Like, for instance, my like he's my brother. He's my brother's best friend, so he's my brother. Like, we're all brothers. He just had a birthday. He's like 22, which if you think about it is nothing because just a few years ago he was in high school, which is like nothing. Like, that's mind blowing. 10 years ago, like, it's June 24th. So 10 years ago, and like 2 weeks, like 10 years and 2 weeks in the past, I graduated high school. Like, that's what happened. 4 years ago, 2018, 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I graduated college. Like, I'm 27 and I know a lot of shit, but at the same time, I don't know shit about shit. I don't know nothing. I haven't. I've done stuff, but I haven't done nothing. That's how I feel. I've worked some cool jobs. I went to school. I did a bunch of credits. I graduated. I have a ton of friends. I um was in different clubs. I've skated all over like DC and Baltimore. That's really it. I haven't skated anywhere else. Pennsylvania, but yeah. So I kind of feel like I'm just rambling or procrastinating because I was supposed to be doing these applications, but I just did not feel like it. Like I'm reading, and it's like the only two places I'm actually interested in applying to is NPR and DC Wheels, and I don't even know if the DC Wheels is a place that has like a position. Like what? I don't even know. And honestly, so my father has a music production company called Stone Rock Inc. And I'm an artist under that company, and I'm the marketing director. So you know when you apply for a job and it says this is all the stuff that you're going to be doing in that job. I have no idea what I'm doing, but what I do know is that my father makes dope music, and ever since I was little, I watched him either be in the basement writing music or working with other musicians and out doing shows like at festivals or like gatherings and like at bars and stuff like that performing. So like that's the only thing that I know, and like that's the dopest thing. So like anything that I can do, like even doing these things or like writing my own songs or like having a YouTube channel and just trying to get other people's attention on that music, it feels like that's like the best that I can do, cuz like I feel like the music and like my father is a genius, and it needs to be appreciated, and like what he writes is like beautiful. Like music is supposed to like make you feel and make you like think and like be appreciative of life, and like I feel like that's the kind of music that he has been writing all of this years, and I feel like it can help people like other artists that need music. I just want them to know that Stone Rock is here and he's written all this music, and like y'all can use the music to like continue making your music, or like if you got like videos or film or like campaigns or commercials or whatever, then just like go there, because like it's tons of music right there. Like that's all that it is, bruh. And he's one man, and then like he's told me he's got 400 songs. That's retarded. That is retarded. Like that's some Prince level like stuff right there. Like Prince was one dude, and he has like 1,000 songs or something like that that he wrote over his lifetime, and that's retarded. That doesn't make any sense. Like it does, cause it's Prince, but that to me sounds like my dad is like Prince, because if Prince wrote a whole bunch of songs and my dad has also wrote a whole bunch of songs and did it all himself, that's amazing. That's retarded. And I haven't even like scratched the surface or begun to do anything half that great. Like and so like this is the kind of stuff that I think about. Like I just want my check. I wrote myself a check for $55 million, and I'm like, I have to figure out a way to make this $55 million so that I can ride in a helicopter and live in a mansion and drive go karts. Like that's the kind of life I want to live, bro. And like ride motorcycles and ATVs with all my niggas. Like it sounds like when I say it out loud, it sounds so just like, what are you talking about, bruh? Like, that's not real life. But I'm like, but if that's not real life, then what is real life? Like, paying taxes and going to, like, jury duty? Like, no, my nigga, that cannot be real life. Fuck that. Like, no. And voting, that's it? No. Like, think about it. I would rather be a crazy genius dreamer that wants to like do all of this weird like off the wall stuff and like climb like Mount Kilimanjaro and like explore the inside of a volcano. And space is scary, but if I had the opportunity to go to space, I would totally go to space. Imagine being able to see the earth from space. Like you can see parts of the earth when you're flying a plane, but if you was in space, my guy, that would be crazy. You could see like you can't even imagine. I can't imagine it. I can look up in the night and see the stars. But if I was amongst the stars, oh my goodness, I think I want to be an astronaut. Like, that would be crazy. Okay. Um, I don't know, man. I think, like, like, I want to praise just all of the creatives that are out there in the world creating this amazing world that we live in. Like, anybody knows me knows that Lupe Fiasco is one of my favorite rappers of all time, and that's just how I feel. And like, I love you, Lupe. Thank you for existing. And Kanye, you've been Kanye. You've always been Kanye. So thank you for being Kanye. Even when you say shit that's like off the wall and that I don't agree with, I am so appreciative of you being you. And Childish Gambino, you are like the newest person that has like popped up. Like, you popped up on my radar basically 5 years ago in 2013 when you dropped Camp, and since then I have absolutely been inspired by just your existence, your consistency of putting out mixtapes and albums and creating shows and just and acting and just like, my nigga, you being you, I'm like, that's representation that I could emulate. Like, I could be Childish Gambino, but I would just be me Bino. I'd be Fire Mountain. Like, that's who I would be. Like, that's it. That's me. Whoa. Watch out for the owl. What owl? Oh snap. That's crazy. I guess this all started all about like X dying, but now I went on like 10 different tangents. So I'm watching a show called Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, and the reason I stopped talking was because like the dude, he basically had like a meltdown. Like he's like washed up musician or like basically failed rock star. Like he was a rock star at one point in his life, and then he fell off, and then he's been like a druggie for like 20 years. Like he was a rock star for like 10 years, and then he was a druggie trying to be rock star for like 20 years. Like whatever you do, don't do that. Like don't do that. And he had a reunion like um get together, and there was like an owl trying to run into him, and there was like snakes on the stage and everything. God, I'm tired. I'm about to go to bed soon. I wanted to talk about other stuff. I don't know. I'm exhausted. I just want to be the best me that I can be, and I am finding out what that means every day. And I think that that's really the best that I can do, and the best that I can ask of myself. You know, because I'm just a person. So recycle and tell the people that are in your life that you love them, and if and tell them that you love them, but also show them that you love them, and don't be a douche and try to make your life easier, but also do what you can to make those people around you make their lives easier too.